Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Shifty's 49ers Talk. We have breaking news that just came across minutes ago, and that's that the 49ers have made yet another signing today, and that's for a backup quarterback. The 49ers signed Sam Darnold to a one-year deal. The money and the finances behind it have not yet been released, but we're going to talk all about Sam Darnold and what his place is on the team. Let's jump right in. And it just came across that the 49ers, we have found our backup quarterback, and that's Sam Darnold. And funnily enough, I released a video just days ago where I mentioned that I think Sam Darnold is actually probably my number one guy, either Darnold or Heineke, for the backup role. Now, why did the 49ers make this signing? Well, to me, I believe, look, we know that Brock Purdy coming off the UCL tear surgery, although it sounds like the timeline-wise he should be ready to go for week 1. My guess is that he will be put on IR, give him an extra 6 weeks just to recover and be fully healthy to come back for week 7 in the season. Of course, Trey Lance is the odds-on favorite to be the starter heading into the 2023 season. I think he is the starter. Now, you bring in a guy like Sam Darnold. Why is that? Well, Trey Lance has obviously shown an inability to stay healthy. It's a very small sample size. I'm not going to say that that's going to be like it for the rest of his career by any means. However, if last season taught us anything, is that we have to have good options at backup quarterback just to get through the season, just in case we are the worst unlucky team possible. So why do we bring in Sam Darnold? Well, let's take a little bit of a look at Sam Darnold's history, what he's all about, and what he's like as a player. So Sam Darnold, 26 years old. He's actually 25 right now. He'll turn 26 in June, so still really, really young. He's 6'3", 225 pounds. Of course, he was the 3rd overall pick by the Jets out of USC back in 2018. Now, when he was drafted by the Jets, Todd Bowles was the head coach at the time, and then the year after, Adam Gase took over, and Sam Darnold was just put in some really, really bad situations. Not a lot of talent around him in New York, not good coaching at all, and I think one of the most famous things that Sam Darnold is probably remembered for in New York is, I think it was against the Patriots on the sideline, basically saying he's seeing ghosts, and that's one of the worst things that you can hear from a quarterback. The sideline camera microphones picked that up, and that did not go down well in New York or around NFL circles. So then when the Jets went and drafted Zach Wilson, they gave up on Sam Darnold. Obviously, Sam Darnold the last couple of years has spent time with the Carolina Panthers, and he started out strong in 2021 and then really tailed off, missed some games with injury. Last season, he actually had his best year of his career, I thought. So if we look at what he did last year, Sam Darnold had 7 touchdown passes, 3 interceptions, 92.6 quarterback rating, which would be above average. Also, in the 6 games that he started, the Carolina Panthers had a 4-2 record. That's when they kind of went on that run towards the end of the year with actually Steve Wilks. And I'm sure Steve Wilks was able to give John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan some inside information on what Sam Darnold's like in the locker room, things like that, how he's on the practice field, all of that good stuff. Now, if we look at Sam Darnold in terms of career numbers, yes, they're not super impressive, but I think you do have to, keep context in mind where he's been on some really bad teams with little to no weapons. I mean, even Carolina last year, sure, they had DJ Moore, but outside of that, when Sam Darnold was playing, they didn't have Christian McCaffrey, so they were really, really lacking in talent. And he's going to come to San Francisco where there's a lot of talent, but also there's literally no expectations for Sam Darnold in San Francisco. I think he knows he's going to come to San Francisco. He signed a 1-year deal. He's actually going to be on a competitive team that's should win a lot of games, so maybe he'll just get to see what it's like to be in a winning organization, which of course will be really good for his, development as a player. Also get some great coaching. Kyle Shanahan, Brian Griese, Anthony Lynn, all these guys he's going to be around. And then of course you have Trey Lance, Brock Purdy, and all these great offensive players, so that should it happen where Sam Darnold has to play some snaps, he's going to be in a really good situation. And he's been around the NFL for quite a while, even though he's still really young, and I think still learning the NFL game. Now, one thing that I didn't really mention is that Sam Darnold actually is relatively mobile in terms of being able to pick up yards with his feet, but something that he's done a really good job of in his career is actually getting some rushing touchdowns. Last year, he had 2 rushing touchdowns to add on to his 7 passing touchdowns, and in his career, he has 12 rushing touchdowns. So again, I haven't seen what the finances are, how much money is guaranteed or anything yet, but overall, I'm going to give this grade probably about maybe a B minus, C plus. I'll go with a B minus simply because of the expectations that I have for Sam Darnold. I think for the first 6 weeks, he's going to be the backup to Trey Lance. Then come week 7, he'll move to the quarterback 3 position behind Lance, behind Purdy, and there you have Sam Darnold. So I'm sure there are some people maybe on Twitter or what have you who are going to be freaking out, being like, why did we sign Sam Darnold? Well, the goal is for him really to not play, but that if we do have to actually have Sam Darnold come in and play, just look to last year. Played 6 games, won 4 of them, and that's with a not so great Carolina team. So I think we get a young guy, still developing, still has, I think, untapped potential, and you get him for what I would imagine would be a very reasonable deal. If I had to guess money-wise, probably going to say between the maybe $4 to $6 million range-ish. But overall, I think it's a very solid move. I think it's a shrewd move. And again, one that I had touched on in recent days in one of my most recent videos. I'll actually leave in the description the video where I briefly talked about Sam Darnold, and I'll leave a timestamp for where I mentioned Sam Darnold there, just so you can kind of see that before all this happened, that I did kind of have my eyes on a guy like Darnold as the backup quarterback. But of course, guys, let me know your thoughts on this move in the comments below. And of course, if you enjoy the content, drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, because as you can see, we're covering all the 49er offseason news, the moves, all of that great stuff. And just before I head out, guys, you know I'm going to say 2 things. The butt counts, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.